You expected a shootout. I did too. With Detroit averaging 35 points a game, multiple injuries in their secondary, and Aiden Hutchinson breathing down your left tackle, the narrative felt like it was set for fireworks. Instead, you got something clearer. A complete statement from the Chiefs. They took control early, never trailed, and by the final whistle, it wasn't close. Every phase of the team showed up and executed. Start with the scoreboard context. Kansas City put up 30 and held a team that routinely explodes for 30-plus to just 17. That's not luck. That's game planning, execution, and discipline. Patrick Mahomes was surgical. 22 of 30 passing, 3 passing touchdowns, and a steady presence on the ground. He didn't have to make hero plays because the line gave him time, and the play callers put the ball where it needed to go. One stat that tells the story: Mahomes targeted linebackers more than ever, over half his attempts, and that became the beating heart of the attack. When your quarterback consistently finds the second level, you're dictating the game. Now, the O-line story, because it's massive here. Josh Simmons was out for personal reasons, Jalen Moore found out he was starting with barely any prep, and yet he handled Aiden Hutchinson far more than anyone expected. 3 pressures allowed from Moore. Not perfect, but in context, that's heroic. The rest of the line? Near flawless. Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, and Kingsley Suamataia combined for virtually 0 pressures on pivotal drives. Kingsley's been noticeably improving week after week. Next Gen showed the Lions' pressure rate at its season low. That's pocket comfort for Mahomes, and comfort means better decisions and cleaner throws. That 4th and 3 touchdown to Xavier Worthy? That wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement. Worthy burned Amik Robertson. Mahomes put it where only Worthy could catch it, and the play flipped momentum into a lead the Chiefs never surrendered. Offensively, you had balance. Travis Kelce and Juju Smith-Schuster ate the middle, while the linebackers were exposed repeatedly. Hollywood Brown looked like a vertical threat again with 2 touchdowns. The running game didn't need to break massive plays because the offense was sustained, methodical, and lethal in the red zone. Chiefs went 4 for 6 compared to Detroit's 1 for 2. Special teams chipped in with a key 21-yard punt return that pushed a field goal drive to put the game away. Small plays add up. Let me know who you give the offensive game ball to: Mahomes, Kelce, Hollywood, Worthy, or Jalen Moore. Drop a single name in the comments. Also, if you're enjoying this breakdown, please subscribe. We're pushing for 5,000 subs, and every new subscriber helps us reach more Chiefs fans. You want to know what separated tonight's Chiefs offense from some of the midseason sputters? It was protection, intention, and execution. Mahomes was decisive, accurate, and clinical. He didn't have to scramble for miracles. When he attacked the second level, the offense moved like a well-oiled machine. Short to intermediate completions that flipped the field and kept chains alive. That was deliberate play calling, pulling Detroit's defenders out of position and creating space for Kelce, Juju, and the tight window throws Mahomes does best. And again, the line, absolute game changer. Jalen Moore stepped in with almost 0 prep and held up against one of the league's premier rushers. The rest of the front gave Mahomes time to process. Time equals cleaner decisions and fewer risky throws. Going for it on 4th and 3 and converting into a touchdown wasn't just gutsy. It was trust in your offense and in Mahomes' ability to deliver. Worthy beating his man and catching that ball changed the tenor of the game in a heartbeat. Individual notes worth remembering. Travis Kelce operated like he's in his early prime, moving, finding soft spots, converting crucial downs. Juju looked healthier and more decisive, making clutch plays when the game tightened. Hollywood had a quietly excellent night with 2 scores, giving the Chiefs a vertical threat when they needed it. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Hit the button and help us reach 5,000 subscribers. And in the comments, answer with one word: Mahomes, Kelce, Moore, or Worthy. Who's your offensive MVP tonight? Now the defense? Detroit averaged 35 points coming in, and Kansas City held them to 17. That's not a fluke. It's a defense, bending but refusing to break. There were stretches where the Lions methodically moved the ball. You don't need perfection every play, but the Chiefs tightened up on 3rd downs and in the red zone, forced key stops, and made the plays that decided the game. Chris Jones didn't need a monster stat line to make an impact. He repeatedly collapsed gaps, set the edge against the run, and helped set up a critical pressure that led to a sack on a 3rd and 10 late in the 4th. That sequence swung the drive and helped seal the win. Nick Bolton had a tougher night in coverage. The middle got carved up at times, but the unit as a whole limited explosive plays and bottled up the Lions' ground game, holding Detroit under 100 rushing yards for the first time since Week 1. Special teams did their job when the game was in the balance. Nico Rijo's 21-yard punt return flipped field position and led directly to the field goal that put the game out of reach. And while Harrison Butker missed an early extra point, a continuing concern given recent misses, he recovered, and the kick game overall didn't lose the team the contest. Small margins matter, but they didn't derail this win. Then, the ugly finish. Brian Branch walking up and striking Juju after the final kneel was a sour note on an otherwise clean night. He removed his helmet and clocked Juju, and the league responded with a 1-game suspension. Branch is appealing, but the NFL's message is clear. Post-play retaliation is unacceptable and is punishable. Whether you think the punishment is fair or not, the practical consequences are real. Detroit will be without another top defender for their next game, which impacts their scheming and depth. Don't let the reffing narratives distract you. Blaming the refs here is lazy when the tape shows the Chiefs executed the Lions across phases. Sure, officiating always creates talking points, but this game was decided by superior game planning, execution, and discipline, not a collection of missed calls. Quick check-in. Do you agree with the 1-game suspension for Brian Branch? Drop yes or no in the comments and follow with one short sentence explaining why. Keep it short so others can skim responses fast. Injuries had some scary moments. Kelce rolled an ankle, Chris Jones had his forearm looked at, but most of those guys returned and avoided extended absences, which is massive given the short weeks and the schedule ahead. Depth held up when tested, and that's becoming an increasingly important storyline for this team. Now the roster and roster moves. Rashee Rice is officially back on the 53-man roster. The timing couldn't be better. He's coming off suspension right as the Chiefs' offense has found rhythm again. Brett Veach cleared a roster spot, and the front office got Rice active just when the offense needed another weapon. Before his suspension, Rice was averaging over 10 yards per catch and serving as a reliable chain mover. Add him back into this rotation, and the problems for defenses multiply. Think about the balance. Xavier Worthy stretches defenses vertically. Hollywood Brown creates separation on the outside. Travis Kelce dominates the middle. Add Rice's route running and after-the-catch ability, and suddenly every defensive choice turns into a risk. If you double Kelsey, Rice eats you up on slants. Play soft zone, Worthy takes the top off. That makes the Chiefs' passing game borderline unfair. Expect Rice to slide in with a limited snap count at first, likely 25 to 30 snaps, but targeted plays to rebuild chemistry with Mahomes, quick outs, crossers, and a couple of red zone looks. Justin Watson's snaps could dip, and Kadarius Toney's role may shrink further. It's a crowded room, but it's a good problem to have. Quick prediction interaction. Which receiver will have the biggest game against the Raiders? Rice, Worthy, or Hollywood Brown? Drop your pick and how many yards you think he gets. Closest guess gets a ETB shout-out in the next upload. Looking ahead, the Raiders will test the O-line with pressure. If the Chiefs protect Mahomes like they did against Detroit and get Rice working early, this could turn into a lopsided division game. But the margin for error is still real. Discipline and situational execution will decide it. So what are the big takeaways from this win? And where does this leave the Chiefs as we head into mid-season? First, depth matters. Jalen Moore's performance underlines why investing in dependable backups pays dividends. Second, protection wins games. When the O-line gives Mahomes time, the offense becomes surgically precise. Third, red zone efficiency and fourth down aggression separate good teams from great ones. The Chiefs converted when it counted. Fourth, discipline still matters. The Branch incident is a reminder that lapses in control carry tangible consequences. And finally, Rashee Rice's return raises the ceiling. Adding him back into an offense that's already clicking makes scheming against Kansas City that much harder. Why might the Chiefs be peaking now? The roster is settling, injured vets are trending healthier, and the coaching staff appears to be dialing in situational strategy at the right time. Momentum is real in football. Disciplined wins build confidence, which helps in tight spots and hostile environments. If they keep executing like this, the Chiefs become a team that wins by process rather than relying on last-second heroics. Final quick engagement. In one short sentence, tell me your single biggest takeaway from this win. Offense, defense, or special teams. Also pick your 3 game balls. One for offense, one for defense, and one for special teams. And drop those names in the comments so I can feature the most popular picks in our next breakdown. If you like this breakdown, subscribe and help us hit 5,000 subscribers. Like the video to help these analyses reach more Chiefs fans. And, if you want more detailed film study on any specific play from this game, the 4th and 3 to Worthy, Mahomes' reads versus linebackers, or the defensive look that bottled up the Lions, tell me which play in the comments, and I'll do a focused breakdown next. Let's go. Let's freaking go.